Hi, Meadowview Wildcats. I'm Sarah Schick, but a lot of you know me as Mrs. Schick, who teaches third grade. And I am also a member of our community, and I have a couple different roles. One, I'm a teacher, and two, I am an independent Pamper Chef consultant, which means I sell cooking tools. So this is one of them. It's called a mix and shop. So I really enjoy cooking. So that's another way I'm a part of our community. But the last way that I'm a part of our community is that I'm a mom. So I have some bunny that I want you to meet right now. And here she comes. So Wildcats, this is my daughter, Hannah. Say hi, Hannah. Say hi, Wildcats. And she is going to listen to a story along with you that goes along with our theme of We Are Stronger Together. So, Hannah, I'm going to have you go back by Daddy, all right, and listen to the story with all the boys and girls at Meadowview, okay? All right. So the story that I'm going to share with you today is called Charlotte the Scientist is Squished. And it's written by Camille Andros, and it's illustrated by Brianna Farley. So here we go. I like the inside cover because it's like blueprints or plans of some things that she's going to be making. So Charlotte the Scientist is Squished. Charlotte was a serious scientist. Protective glasses, a lab coat, and a magnifying glass were her essential scientific equipment, plus a clipboard for important notes. Charlotte solved problems by conducting experiments that followed the scientific method. And if you look over here, there's a poster, it looks like, of the scientific method: question, hypothesis, experiment, observation, conclusion. And then there's a picture with labels of all her gear: her protective glasses, her clipboard, her magnifying glass, and her lab coat. And Charlotte had a problem. She was squished. She's got a big family, doesn't she? Lots of bunnies. You can see why she's squished. Did you see her right here? She was squished at the table, she was squished in the tub, and sometimes she was even squished on the toilet. They're saying, hey! It had become impossible to conduct her experiments. Her test tubes were taken, her beakers got broken, and her specimens were spoiled. Charlotte needed some space. Time to use the scientific method. Ugh, she definitely has a problem, doesn't she? Not enough room. Step 1. Ask a question. How can I get some space around here? Step 2. Form a hypothesis. Hypothesis. If I can get rid of my brothers and sisters, I will have room to be a real scientist. Step 3. Test the hypothesis. Experiment. Then she's putting things into the vanishing beaker. She tried an experiment to make everyone disappear, but it didn't work. She tried another experiment to make herself disappear, but that didn't work either. Her book is talking about chameleons. So chameleons tend to have their skin change based on their environment, kind of like camouflage. Her camouflage didn't work, did it? Mm-mm. If she was going to get some space, keep out, bang, clang, boom. Those are onomatopoeias. I know second grade was learning about those. She would have to go there. Ooh, there's her carrot rocket ship. She looks so like she's having so much fun in outer space. Step 4. Make and record observations. Charlotte was no longer squished at the table. She was no longer squished in the tub. And Charlotte could take as long as she wanted on the toilet. Space was splendid. And then it says observations on her clipboard. Meals, check. Baths, check. Toilet, check. Important experiments. What she's still working on for her to-do list with observations. Step 5, draw conclusions. She had all the room she needed to conduct her very important experiments using her protective glasses, her lab coat, and magnifying glass. Her test tubes were tidy, her beakers looked brilliant, and her specimens were sparkling. Her hypothesis was correct. She finally had room to be a scientist. Finally! The only problem was there was no one to talk to at mealtime. No one to blow bubbles with in the tub. And what was Charlotte supposed to do when she ran out of toilet paper? Hello? Has that ever happened to you? Space was lonely. Back to step 2. Form a new hypothesis. If I can have friends in space, then I won't be lonely, and I can be a real scientist. Time for more experiments. Charlotte tried chocolate, but it was too tempting. What do you think she did? Yeah, she ate it. The balloons kept floating away. So chocolate didn't work, and balloons didn't work either. And robot bunnies were poor conversationalists. That means like someone to have a conversation or talk to. They got ruined in the bathtub and tangled in the toilet paper. Boop. Charlotte missed her family. She even missed being squished. So she tried one last experiment. Do you have a hypothesis or a prediction about what Charlotte's one last experiment was? What do you think? Check it out. What'd she do? She came back to Earth. She reached a new conclusion. Charlotte didn't need outer space. She just needed her own space. So do you see how she took her rocket, her carrot rocket ship, and turned it into her own space? So she could have a break from her brothers and sisters and she wasn't squished. But at the same time, she still could be around them too, right? And then in the last couple pages of the book, it says, in the lab with Charlotte. So it talks about the 5 steps of the scientific method, just kind of like they went through in the book. So step 1, ask a question. Step 2, form a hypothesis. Step 3, test the hypothesis or experiment. Step 4, make and record observations. Step 5, form a conclusion. So that's in the very back of the book. So there you go. Charlotte the scientist is squished. I hope you enjoyed my story. And I want to share with you why I picked this one. 1, spring is practically here. And lots of times in spring, we see lots of bunnies hopping around, don't we? So with our main character being a bunny, I thought it'd be kind of fun to read you this story. As well as I really like this story because it reminds me that it's important to have my own space so I can do things, but it also reminds me that it's important that I make sure that I'm around others. And that's when we want to make sure that we're showing that wildcat way. And then you're not lonely, right? So some reasons of why I shared that story with you. Also, when you're around others and you're not lonely, we are stronger together. And one of the sayings that I know I always like to say is teamwork makes the dream work because we are stronger all together. Thanks for listening.